The vast emptiness of space stretched out like a black canvas, punctuated by distant stars and the soft hum of advanced technology. The human research vessel Horizon drifted quietly through an unexplored sector, its systems running smoothly under the careful watch of Dr. Sung Park. She stood at the navigation console, her fingers dancing across holographic displays, tracking subtle energy signatures that most would have missed. Her dark hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail, her eyes focused and alert. Something was different about this region of space. She could feel it. Suddenly, the ship's warning systems erupted into a symphony of alerts. Large energy signatures appeared from seemingly nowhere, surrounding the horizon in a matter of seconds. Massive ships with sleek, predatory designs materialized around them. Ships belonging to the Felidaran, a species known for their territorial aggression and advanced technological capabilities. The leopard-like alien beings communicated through a series of sharp clicks and low growls that translated instantly on the ship's communication systems. Human vessel, you have violated restricted space zones. Prepare for immediate boarding and detention. Shung remained calm. Her years of scientific training and previous encounters with alien species had taught her that panic was the least productive response. She signaled her small crew to stand down, understanding that resistance would be futile against such overwhelming technological superiority. Within minutes, armored Felidaran warriors transported onto the horizon. Their bodies were muscular and covered in spotted fur, with advanced combat suits that seemed to blend technology and biological adaptation. Sharp claws retracted and extended from their digital combat gloves, a reminder of their predatory nature. Lead Commander, a massive Felidaran named Doran Vex, approached Sung with calculated steps. His yellow eyes scanned her with a mixture of curiosity and contempt. Dr. Sung Park, he spoke, his universal translator rendering perfect English. You are hereby charged with unauthorized exploration and potential biological contamination of protected space sectors. Sung noticed how the commander's tail moved slightly, a sign of nervous energy that most humans would miss. She realized they were more uncertain about her presence than they wanted to reveal. We are on a research mission, she responded evenly. Our navigation systems showed no clear markers indicating restricted zones. If we've made an error, we're prepared to discuss compensation and relocation. Her diplomatic approach seemed to surprise the Felidaran warriors. They had expected resistance, perhaps even violence. Instead, they found a calm scientist willing to engage in dialogue. Commander Vex's ears twitched, another subtle sign of internal conflict. Your vessel will be impounded. You and your crew will be taken for intensive questioning and potential quarantine. The word quarantine hung in the air like a threat. Seong understood this was less about genuine scientific concern and more about territorial display. The Felidaran were demonstrating their power, showing humans that they controlled this sector of space. Her crew was efficiently separated, each member guided to different transport sections. Seong observed everything, the technology of their restraints, the communication patterns between warriors, the slight hesitations in their movements. A scientist never stopped collecting data, even when becoming a prisoner. As they transferred her to their massive mothership, Shung caught glimpses of incredible technological marvels, holographic interfaces that seemed to breathe with living energy, quantum communication systems that defied traditional understanding, and biomechanical engineering that blurred lines between organic and synthetic. The Felidaran believed they were securing a potential threat. They saw humans as primitive, unpredictable, potentially dangerous. What they didn't realize was that in Dr. Sung Park, they had captured someone who would challenge every single one of their assumptions. The Tao, ship's massive energy cores hummed with power, carrying Shung deeper into unknown territories. Her mind was already working, analyzing, planning. This was not an ending but a beginning. Little did the Felidaran know, their decision to arrest one human researcher would become the most significant mistake in their species' diplomatic history. As the ship accelerated into the depths of space, Seong allowed herself a slight, almost imperceptible smile. The game was just beginning. The research facility gleamed like a sterile diamond against the harsh landscape of Kral Prime. Smooth metallic walls reflected artificial light, creating an environment that was both clinical and intimidating. Dr. Shung Park found herself inside, a containment chamber designed to break the spirit of any captured species. But the Felidaran had miscalculated. The chamber looked simple: white walls, minimal furniture, a single observation window. What appeared to be a standard holding cell was actually a complex psychological testing environment. Advanced sensors monitored every breath, every micro-expression, every minute biological change. Kira Rael, the lead xenobiological researcher, watched intently from the observation room. Her spotted fur was meticulously groomed, her digital clipboard tracking every detail of the human subject. She expected signs of stress, fear, maybe even breakdown. Humans were supposed to be emotional, unpredictable creatures. Instead, Shung sat quietly. She examined the room with scientific precision. The air circulation system, the subtle electromagnetic frequencies, the microscopic camera angles. Her mind was collecting data faster than the Felidaran could process. Hours passed. Kira became increasingly frustrated. Most captured species would have shown some sign of distress by now. Panic attacks, emotional outbursts, attempts to escape. But Shung remained calm, almost meditative. Unusual psychological resilience, Kira muttered, adjusting her research parameters. Subject demonstrates 0 typical stress responses. The room's temperature fluctuated, a deliberate test designed to create psychological discomfort. Cold waves followed by sudden heat surges would typically trigger anxiety in most biological entities. Sung simply adjusted her breathing, maintaining a steady internal temperature. Communication attempts began. The Felidaran introduced complex linguistic puzzles, hoping to overwhelm her cognitive processes. Mathematical challenges, spatial reasoning, tests. Intricate communication protocols designed to confuse and disorient. Shung solved each challenge with remarkable efficiency. Her background in advanced scientific research, combined with years of cross-cultural communication training, made her an unexpected opponent. She didn't just answer their tests, she analyzed their testing methodology. During one observation session, she caught Kira's attention by asking a seemingly simple question. Your testing algorithms suggest you're more interested in control than genuine understanding. Interesting approach to scientific inquiry. The statement threw Kira off balance. How could a captured subject turn the psychological examination around? The facility's senior researchers began discussing Seung in hushed tones. Words like anomaly and unexpected variable became frequent in their discussions. She wasn't just a prisoner. She was becoming a complex research subject that challenged their entire understanding of human capabilities. Food delivery became another fascinating interaction. Felidaran nutrition protocols were entirely different from human requirements. They provided a bland, nutrient-dense substance designed for their own species. Seung not only consumed it without complaint, but also analyzed its molecular composition during each meal. Her observation skills were relentless. Security protocols fascinated her. She noted communication patterns between guards, studied their shift changes, identified potential technological vulnerabilities in their containment systems. Each observation was mentally cataloged, processed, evaluated. Days turned into weeks. The Felidaran research team became increasingly uncertain. Their prisoner wasn't breaking, she wasn't resisting. She was simply existing, observing, learning. Kira realized something profound was happening. This human wasn't just a test subject. She was turning the entire research facility into her own experimental environment. As another day concluded, Seung sat in her white chamber, a slight smile playing on her lips. The Felidaran thought they were studying her. In reality, she was studying them far more effectively. The real experiment was just beginning. The interrogation room buzzed with tension. Bright lights illuminated a circular space where Shung sat, her hands folded calmly on a smooth metallic table. 3 Felidaran researchers watched her, their digital translation devices humming softly. Lead researcher Kira Rael positioned her recording equipment, expecting another standard questioning session. She had no idea what was about to happen. "Tell us about human technological capabilities," demanded senior researcher Mako, his tail twitching with impatience. Seung smiled. Not a threatening smile, but one of genuine intellectual curiosity. "Would you be interested in understanding quantum entanglement from a human perspective?" she asked. The researchers exchanged confused glances. This was not the response they expected. She began explaining complex scientific concepts with remarkable simplicity. Her words painted pictures of advanced technological understanding that seemed almost magical to the Felidaran researchers. She discussed how humans manipulated quantum states, developed adaptive artificial intelligence, and created biological mechanical interfaces. Mako's digital tablet started recording data faster than he could process. Quantum mechanics, genetic, engineering, advanced computational theories. Seung broke down each concept into digestible explanations that revealed humanity's extraordinary potential. "Your species develops technology by solving problems," she explained. "We don't just create tools. We create solutions that transform our understanding of existence." The Felidaran researchers found themselves increasingly captivated. This human wasn't just answering questions. She was systematically dismantling their preconceived notions about human capabilities. She spoke about human space exploration, describing missions that pushed technological boundaries, how humans had developed materials that could withstand extreme temperatures, communication systems that could transmit data across vast cosmic distances, and medical technologies that could repair complex biological systems. Kira noticed something unusual. The more Seung talked, the more the recording devices seemed to struggle. Her explanations contained layers of information that traditional translation systems found challenging to capture completely. "Fascinating," Mako muttered, zooming into complex diagrams appearing on his digital interface. "Your explanation of quantum communication suggests capabilities we considered impossible." Seung revealed how human scientists were developing technologies that could potentially communicate across dimensional barriers. She described theoretical frameworks that suggested multiple reality constructs, something the Felidaran research community had never seriously considered. The room's atmosphere changed. What started as an interrogation was transforming into an unexpected scientific exchange. She demonstrated a small device from her research kit, a compact quantum communication prototype. With a few precise movements, she showed how it could potentially transmit information instantaneously across theoretical space-time boundaries. The Felidaran researchers were no longer just observers. They had become students. "Humans don't just see obstacles," Seung explained. "We see opportunities for innovative solutions. Our greatest strength is our ability to adapt, to reimagine what's possible." Her words carried a deeper message. This wasn't just about technological capabilities. This was about fundamental approaches to understanding the universe. Kira's research parameters were collapsing. Everything they thought they knew about humans was being rewritten in real time. The prisoner was teaching her captors, revealing capabilities they had never imagined. As the session concluded, an uncomfortable silence filled the room. The Felidaran researchers realized something profound. They had not captured a prisoner. They had invited an unexpected teacher into their most secure research facility. Seung sat quietly, her mission accomplished. She had not fought. She had not resisted. She had simply shared knowledge. And in doing so, she had changed everything. The Felidaran leadership would soon discover that arresting Dr. Seung Park was the biggest mistake they could have made. Commander Doran Vex watched the recording of Seung's previous interrogation, his powerful claws tapping nervously against the digital console. Something was changing, and he could feel it deep in his biological systems. Seung began telling stories. Not just any stories, but carefully selected narratives about human history that would challenge everything the Felidaran understood about survival and adaptation. She spoke about the moon landing, how humans had traveled 384,400 kilometers using technology less advanced than a modern Felidaran child's communication device. She described how a small group of people had managed to survive in the harshest environments on Earth, from Antarctic research stations to burning desert regions. Survival is not about technology, she explained calmly. It's about adaptability and collective intelligence. The Felidaran researchers listened, their initial skepticism slowly transforming into genuine fascination. Seung's narrative wasn't aggressive. It was educational, strategic, and deeply intelligent. She described how humans had overcome seemingly impossible challenges: the development of vaccines during global pandemics, the reconstruction of societies after massive natural disasters, the ability to unite across cultural differences to solve complex global problems. Each story was a carefully constructed lesson. She wasn't just sharing information, she was revealing the complex psychology of human survival. The most interesting moment came when she discussed human problem-solving. We don't see limitations, she explained. We see challenges as opportunities for innovation. Commander Vex felt uncomfortable. These stories were dismantling everything his species believed about humans. They were not primitive creatures to be controlled. They were adaptive, intelligent beings with extraordinary potential. Seung demonstrated how humans could transform seemingly impossible situations into opportunities. She talked about technological innovations born from limitations, how space exploration had created technologies now used in medical treatments, communication systems, and everyday life. Her strategic approach was subtle, but powerful. She wasn't arguing. She was teaching. The Felidaran research team began questioning their initial assessment. The recordings showed a prisoner who was more like a professor, systematically revealing the depth of human potential. Interesting, muttered Kira Rael, reviewing the data. The subject is not defending. She is educating. Commander Vex recognized the danger. If these stories spread through Felidaran society, their entire approach to human interaction would need to change. Seung was conducting a psychological operation more effective than any military strategy. She spoke about human resilience, how small groups of people had survived extreme conditions, how individuals had overcome seemingly impossible personal challenges. Each story was a carefully selected piece of a larger puzzle. The most powerful moment came when she discussed collective human intelligence, how millions of people could collaborate across digital platforms, solving complex scientific problems, creating open-source technologies, and supporting global initiatives. We are not individuals, she explained. We are a connected network of problem solvers. The Felidaran leadership began to realize their massive miscalculation. They had arrested a single human, thinking they were containing a potential threat. Instead, they had invited a strategic communicator who was systematically changing their entire understanding. Commander Vex made a critical decision. These recordings needed careful management. If released incorrectly, they could fundamentally transform Felidaran society's perception of humans. As the final recording concluded, an uncomfortable silence filled the observation room. The Felidaran researchers exchanged glances, understanding that something significant had just happened. Seung had not fought. She had not resisted. She had simply shared knowledge. And in doing so, she had already won. The real battle was not about physical containment. It was about understanding. And in that arena, Dr. Seung Park was unbeatable. The Felidaran High Council chamber buzzed with tension. Holographic displays flickered with data from Seung's previous interactions, casting blue shadows across worried faces. Commander Doran Vex stood at the center, his report telling a story nobody wanted to hear. We cannot continue holding her, he announced, his voice a low growl of defeat. Seung sat in a waiting area, seemingly calm. She had transformed from a prisoner to something far more dangerous, a diplomatic catalyst that could reshape interspecies relationships, the council members argued. Some wanted to continue containment. Others recognized the potential disaster of prolonged imprisonment. Seung had demonstrated something far more powerful than physical resistance. She had shown intellectual superiority. Her diplomatic proposal was elegantly simple: an open scientific exchange program between humans and the Felidaran race. No demands, no threats, just pure intellectual collaboration. "We do not seek conquest," she had explained earlier. "We seek understanding." Those words echoed through the council chambers. Each council member understood the deeper meaning. Humans were offering partnership, not conflict. The youngest council member, a female named Lyra, spoke first. "We are making a mistake by treating her as a prisoner. She is an opportunity." Discussions intensified. Data streams showed human technological achievements, space exploration records, scientific breakthroughs. Each presentation further dismantled the Felidaran's previous assumptions about human capabilities. Commander Vex watched silently. He understood the shifting dynamics better than anyone. This was no longer about containment. This was about strategic diplomatic engagement. Sung's proposal included joint research missions, technology exchanges, and comprehensive cultural understanding programs. She hadn't just prepared a diplomatic document. She had crafted a roadmap for potential interspecies collaboration. The Council's decision came quickly, not as a defeat but as a strategic recalibration. "We formally request diplomatic relations with the Human Research Organization," announced the Council leader, his voice carrying a mixture of respect and surprising humility. Sung's response was measured. "We welcome the opportunity for mutual understanding." Her release was carefully choreographed. No dramatic exits, no triumphant speeches, just a calm, professional transition from prisoner to potential diplomatic partner. As she prepared to return to her research vessel, the Felidaran researchers watched her, not with previous contempt but with genuine curiosity and emerging respect. Commander Vex approached her final time. "You have changed everything," he said, his translator rendering a tone of grudging admiration. Sung smiled. "Understanding is always the first step in any meaningful relationship." The research vessel waited, its systems humming with anticipation. Her crew had been carefully monitoring the situation, prepared for any potential scenario. As she walked towards her ship, Seung knew this was more than a personal victory. This was a breakthrough for human-alien interactions. She had transformed a potential conflict into an opportunity for collaboration. The Felidaran leadership watched her departure, understanding they had witnessed something extraordinary. Not a defeat, but a fundamental transformation of their entire approach to unknown species. Massive ship doors opened. Stars waited beyond, silent witnesses to this unexpected diplomatic evolution. Seung looked back one final time. The Felidaran research facility stood as a testament to a moment that would be remembered in both species' historical records. Her mission was complete. Not through force, not through conflict, but through the most powerful human capability, the ability to communicate, understand, and transform potential confrontation into collaborative opportunity.